Oh,
Hello.
oh, I didn't put Rob in the thing.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Hello. Are we live?
I don't know. We'll find out in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail to see are we live, because
My goodness. They're
we'll
still
have to wait for
allowing
the
it.
old chatty chats. Now, there has been issues with chat. The last. Oh, we're live! Yay!
It says live 1 minute and 31 seconds.
Cool. Yeah. So, yeah. Warning, folks. There has been issues with YouTube chat of late. The last few
And me.
few days, the chat has been skewy, and you have to keep refreshing it. If you don't want to join in with the chat and that's annoying you, and you just want to watch the show, that's fine. Go ahead and do that, but please do watch the show. But it's just the chat can be really freaking annoying. I think, however, it does come through to StreamYard, even if it doesn't go through to YouTube. So anyway, hello everybody. You're all very welcome to the Rob and Steve show. That was almost very nearly
Rob and Steve show.
The Steve and Steve show.
It was almost the Steve and Steve show, but it kind of is anyway. But I almost thought I was actually here in Canada in Tuesday still. It was Tuesday today, according to me.
Oh my God.
Not prepared at all. Completely unprepared. Disprepared? Disproportionate? I don't know. Anyway.
Yes.
Let's see how this flies.
I messaged Rob earlier on saying, Rob, what's wood of the week this week? And he said, don't know, I ain't done it yet. And I was like, oh, he's very relaxed. That's okay. I'm sure he'll get back to me in a bit. Surely he knows it's Wednesday. And then it got to like 7 o'clock. I was like, I better message him. So I messaged him.
And my phone, I didn't actually have my phone on me. It was lost.
No shit.
It was lost in the house somewhere. The last place I put it is where I lost it.
Oh my God.
It's quite a common occurrence.
So it is Wednesday, folks, and you're all very welcome to the second Rob and Steve show.
And Steve.
I sorted my green screen out, which I'm very pleased about. So it means that I can do everything I want to do now.
I'm on the other side of the blinds today.
Ooh.
I'm not sitting at the lathe right now. I'm sitting at the table saw.
Oh, so exciting.
It's refreshing. If you saw what was behind here, you'd all run away and panic.
Hold on a second. I've just got to reach over here and just wiping my bum. Wayne said I'm sitting on the toilet. That's why I've got a green screen.
Is there chat? Because I can't see it.
Yeah, if you look up in comments up there, Rob, if you click on comments in the top right-hand corner there, where it says comments, Rob, you know where it says there's 3,000 comments? Yeah, yeah.
Now I see it. Hey, everybody. Goodness me, I didn't think anybody was there.
Oh, boy. So, yes, we'll do a quick say hello to a few people. I probably won't get everybody, but we've got Sarah the Titchy Turner. We've got Ian in the shed. We have John S. Tommy Dunn. We have Rob and Steve. Oh, hi. With John S. Leona. Hi, Leona. Let me see. Wayne Bigfoot. Carol. She's from Canada, eh?
Carol Lucia. She is.
Carol Lucia.
Carol, how you doing? Lucia.
Who else have we got? We've got Robert Dolman. Hi, Robert. I think I said Robert. Richard Phelan, Gav, Mike Yu, and everyone else.
And Paul McCartney.
Yeah, and Paul McCartney. Mole Valley. I see Mole Valley there as well. Hi, everybody. You're all welcome. Right, let's get into the old show, Robert, shall we?
Let's do something. Yeah.
Let's do something. Let's pick Do you know the only thing that I haven't got, because I couldn't get hold of the fella that had the videos for it, is I haven't got Rob and Steve looking back material. But we'll just...
Did I not send you something?
Kind of, but I was busy actually trying to build everything else. So yeah.
Oh, so you forgot something.
At least I didn't forget the day. Okay, let's all right, let's go into, what should we do first? Let's do news, shall we? News. Oh, let's do that again. That was pants. Let's do that again. That was really rubbish. News. Did you like that, Rob?
It was breathtaking.
Thanks. Do you see me up in the corner and everything? Look, isn't that cool? Look, I'm up here.
You're like
floating.
Remove the background and everything. You're like on a piece of 2x4.
I know, and everything. So yes, this segment is about the news and what's going on at the moment. And I only found a few bits and pieces. Well, have you got any news, Rob, before I kick into what I have?
It's snowing and cold.
Okay.
That's the weather. It's January still. It's nearly February.
And you're unemployed.
I am unemployed. I've had a COVID layoff because COVID is rampant. COVID is rampant and it's a pain in my ass. So I sit at home and I play with my wood, as people at work say.
Nothing new there then. Yes,
I've got on the lathe right now is very, very old.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit of what we're doing and stuff like that. But for now, news. What have I'm still working, kind of. I'm working from home as much as you can work from home when you're a special needs assistant. I put a video together. I showed Rob, and I think I sent it to Leona to see as well. I put a bit of a video about colours, and I made a video, and it was a poem that I wrote, and then that's gone down very well. Apparently, the parents and the teachers in particular liked it, so that went down well. That's all we can do, is we can do a few bits, make videos of ourselves reading books and stuff like that, and then send it through. And then the teachers put it on an app called Seesaw that the schools use at the moment, and it's kind of like a children's friendly Facebook for schools, so you can upload all work and everything. My kids are using it as well for work, but that's that. And other than that, just going completely bonkers with not having a routine. No routine, going to bed at stupid o'clock at night, not getting out of bed until stupid o'clock in the afternoon, trying to keep up with daily stuff and blah blah blah, pretty much like the rest of the world. So the news of the hour is, let's kick into this first. So there was actually one of these events happened this evening at 7:30. Andrew Hall, I don't know, do you know Andrew Hall, Rob? Do you? The turner?
I do not.
Okay, he does, as you can see there, the really cool hats and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's neat.
He was doing a demonstration for Record Power. Now these demonstrations, you have to sign up to them. They are free, but you have to. The information is in the show notes down below in the description. But you have to go to their Facebook page, get the email address, and email them and say, I'm interested, I'm in Ireland, or I'm in Canada, or I'm in this country, and then they give you a stream key to suit your particular country. The next one is on the 11th of February at 9:30 a.m. That is GMT, the British time, Irish time, and so that'd be early hours of the morning for you, right, Rob? So
yeah.
And he did one today, and he's doing another one on the 11th of February. So keep your eye out on that. All the information for Record Power and all that below in the show notes. That's the first one. Second one is Axminster. I watched one of these the other day. They're doing woodworking wisdom Axminster tool series at the moment. You watched that as well, didn't you, Rob?
I did. Did you get your question answered about your sharpening jig?
No, well, I kind of did. Yeah, I did. Not quite how I wanted it answered. I asked the question with Colwyn Way, because I've got the Colwyn Way skews, and I was asking him. I found when I'm sharpening the Colwyn Way skew, I wasn't on about the bevels, the cutting bevels, right? I'm happy with the cutting bevels, but I'm not sure what it's called. The angle, the angle at the top of a skew, has that got a name? Because I was trying to look it up and I couldn't. Just the top angle.
I think it's called an angle, Steve.
Yeah, I think it's an angle too, Rob. So I called it an angle. Yeah. So I wanted to know what that angle was so that I could find a jig or make a jig to set it up on my Pro Edge, right? Because there is a guide with the Pro Edge, but it's a triangle, so it's 45 degrees, right? That you click onto the jig, and it holds the skew straight at 45 degrees, and then at the angle of sharpening. But I didn't know what that was, so I'll have to make a jig. But I was just asking him.
Pete says it's called a skew, and if you think about it, when something is off skew, it's off angle. So maybe that is right. Maybe it's called a skew.
Oh, isn't Pete very facetious?
Yes, a little bit.
There's a word for you to look up, Pete. Facetious.
That's a little bit skew whiff.
But anyway, getting back to these woodworking wisdom Axminster shows, there's a series of shows. If you go over to Axminster Tools YouTube page and subscribe, you'll get notifications. I am also going to add them to the calendar that we have.
I think you'll enjoy their videos. Actually, from what I saw, it was a very well edited, well videoed demonstration. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very crisp and very well done. So I think the
wood guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. At least, yeah. Colwyn knew which day it was yesterday. Okay, so next one is very sad news. Maker Central has been postponed yet again, which is a pain in the hole. I think, to be honest with you, my own personal opinion. This is only my personal opinion. I personally think they should just cancel it for the foreseeable future until we're all told everything can happen again. Because people keep rebooking their ferries and their flights and their rooms and all that, and it's just a pain in the backside.
It gives people hope too.
Well,
when will this all end? When will this all end? People are getting their vaccines, though. I'm hearing around all the globe that people are getting their vaccines here and there. So Miss T got her vaccine. My aunt in Luton got her vaccine. So people are getting it.
You know that sounded like Miss T was your aunt in Luton that got the vaccine.
Miss T is not my aunt. I said Miss T and my aunt.
Yeah, but the and part didn't come out.
They're actually both in Luton because Miss T's in Luton as well. I found that out. I didn't know.
Leona had a point. Leona had a point about the Axminster shows there. She was saying that the Axminster shows are fine, but you've got to bear in mind that they are very product based. But why not? A couple of people have said, "Oh, I don't watch that because
I can't be doing with that, Steve. I can't be doing with product-based videos."
But
there's nothing wrong with product-based videos. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's absolutely not.
The thing is, it's good to see the product so people understand what they are and what they're used for and how to use them, whether it's finishing products or tools. There's always something new to learn.
But as Leona said, they won't answer questions about stuff they don't sell. So that's probably why they were kind of avoiding the Pro Edge, Robert Sorby Pro Edge side of things.
Okay.
With my question.
Yeah, possibly.
And I get that. But also it takes a lot of work and money and everything to get these demonstrations. Even to do the live streams, they have to pay the demonstrators. Most of them aren't going to do it for free, right?
Whether it's through,
well, you never turned up. You've got to pay me. but what you've got to understand is that's how they get back that cost, is by pushing the products and selling them. So fair play to them. If they have to push the stuff, then they have to push the stuff, and that's it. So Maker Central, getting back to Maker Central, 7th and 8th of August. Now it's been pushed back to. We'll see if it happens. Hopefully it does. I just know that the van will not be going. Whenever it happens, I will not be bringing the van. I will be bringing all the equipment, but I won't be bringing the van because it's going to be too much hassle, I'm afraid. And that's that. Now, next piece of news. Well, it's more information. These guys, you know that guy up in the top right-hand corner, Rob, anyway, and most Irish wood turners would know him.
I do. He's Max.
Yes. That's Max Brozzi, yeah. So these guys, they are the South Tipperary Arts Centre. That's the YouTube channel, so you can go along there. If you are an Irish wood turner, or if you are interested in the history of Irish wood turning, this is a video that the guys put together. They kind of talk about the guild as well, but they kind of get together and they discuss about the history of wood turning in Ireland, and then they go into great depths of the most popular woods and the most popular turns and stuff like that. It's about, I think it's an hour. Yeah, it's an hour and a half long, and yeah, it's quite an interesting watch if you're into that kind of thing. It's kind of got that live zoomy feel to it, so it's not polished, but it is a really interesting watch. So go over to that. The link is below in the show notes if you want to watch that. Then
so it's not polished like this.
It's no. Shut your face. My side's polished. Look at it. Look at what I'm doing here. You just found it hard to sit in the frickin' chair. Damn it.
Yeah.
And that is news.
It all goes downhill from here, folks.
Oh, I pushed the wrong one. Way! Oh no, it's this one. Way!
Oh, bigger than you.
Woo, we're jumping around. Way! We're doing a jig around the place. So that was the news, folks. That's all I have. Do you have any extra bits you want to add to that, Roberto?
Steve, all I can tell you is no. We're all COVIDly locked up here in South Woodsley. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't really done anything. I've been in my shop. I got nothing to tell you, mate. I can't tell you a thing. It's terrible.
I'm
losing my mind a little bit.
Actually, I've got one more bit of news.
Yeah.
Rob,
you're not, are you?
It's frickin' Wednesday. Okay.
Is it Wednesday? I thought it was Tuesday next week.
So, Rob, what you got on the lathe?
You're right in the face now. Okay, so on the lathe, I have got a piece of oak. It's not just any piece of oak, but it was an old beam from a property that was built in the 1800s and knocked down. And the beams have been in a tractor trailer, and some guy had them, and another guy cut some up, and he took some home, and he gave me a piece, and it's been sat in my workshop for a year. In my workshop for a year. Finally, I got it on the bandsaw and cut it into a circle. I decided what I wanted to do with it, or at least attempt to do with it. But this thing is so hard and old. It's insane. It's got 150 years of growth on that one piece. So it was from a building that was built in the 1800s. So that's telling me that piece of wood was growing in the 1600s, which to me just blows my mind how old that is and the history that has witnessed. It's insane. The growth rings are so close together, I had a hard time counting them.
That's had Victoria Dock pissing up against it and everything.
I'm going to show you a piece of it.
Let's talk about Rob and how fucking useless he is, because he's rubbish. He wasn't here, and
I disappeared. I'm back now.
He's back. Shh. He's back. He's back. Shh.
Everybody's still there when they leave.
Yeah. We won't say anything about you at all.
That's okay. Look at the growth rings on that thing, and the rays. This isn't wood of the week, by the way. This just happens to be the bit of wood that's on my lathe. Look at the rays that go through this oak. Like they're so close to each other. I think that is going to be incredible. If I
think
can
that's going to be
get
an
it all together.
explosion, personally.
Very, very possible. And that's concerning. I'm looking at the cracks and there's a lot of them. So yeah, it's a dangerous turn for sure.
Yeah, it's not.
So I'm actually got, it's on the lathe. I got it spinning at about 300 RPM, which is painfully slow. But if it does come off the lathe, it's going to fall. It's not going to go flying up in the air. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, it's slow going. So I just started turning it. It's very dusty, very slow going. It's going to take me a while to get this piece finished, but I'm determined to get something out of it because it's amazing.
Turn and hope. Turn, duck, and hope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very dusty as well. So I got my extractor going.
I have nothing on my lathe because I've not been back to it since I started doing that winged thing. So I will. Well, most people wouldn't have seen that because it was a banana live. Yeah. So I put a winged on Sunday. I put a piece of beech on, and I've started turning a winged hollow form. So I'm probably going to continue with that either Thursday or Sunday, and see how that goes. It's a bit of a mad, wobbly thing, but we're there. We're ready.
I still say it needs chopsticks.
Yeah, could add a few chopsticks maybe, or just two, because you only need 2 chopsticks. Not that I know how to frickin' use
you could have 4, 2 for each hand. Looks cool though, Steve.
Hung Chong Fui. Yes. So that's what's on our lathes, or not on our lathes. I've got to clear my van up. It's a mess, dude. Oh my god, I need to clean that up. I'm just looking at this, and resolution of my face isn't that clear, and I'll tell you why. That's because I'm going through Skype, the green screen, and then coming to this because it was a cheaper way of doing it.
So you can see all my old man wrinkles in mine.
Yeah, well, I've blurred mine out so you can't. Right, so I can't see your wrinkles in my face. Let's do this, Rob, because I know how much you love this.
Oh yeah.
The random wheel of... Oh, what happened? Where'd it go?
It's gone away, Steve.
Oh,
as have I.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter about you.
Apparently. It's okay.
Oops. Let's do that again. Dun,
I'm
dun, dun. The random wheel of convo. Yes, the random wheel of convo, folks, is a wheel. It's this wheel, if I can switch it on. Let me put it over here. It's that one. There it is.
That's a wheel.
So I took off the one that we did last week, which was comedy shows, right? And we're going to go with a new one. So let's go for it. Tell me when, Rob. Tell me when. This is exciting. Tell me.
Do it. Push it, Steve. Go on. Push that button. You're good at pushing buttons, Steve.
I pushed it. Look how fast that is. I pushed it. Look, here it goes. Look how fast that's spinning. The random wheel of convo says, oh God. Oh God.
Oh, school steroids. I've only got one.
Oh dear. Let's get rid of that.
Steve.
And let's pop this back on here like this, and I'll
I have got a lot of memories of school. I do. So where do we start? I mean, I was born in a country village called Clophill. It's in Amptill. The main roads are a mile long, and there's 12 pubs.
And you never did lose the accent.
A haunted castle, which had a churchyard where they did some sort of weird rituals at night with dead sheep and candles.
And you were the result of one of those rituals.
Yeah, I might have been. It's a little bit Stonehengey, if you ask me. My dad's pub was the Stone Jug.
Oh, right. Not
Lovely girl she
your dad
was.
didn't own it.
No. I used to go there all the time. Anyway, no, school. So yeah, my first school was in Clophill, in that village, and I remember it to this day. It was very old school because that was in the 70s, right? So the school was like really old. They had an outdoor swimming pool, and that was pretty brave for Luton, or for Clophill, England.
Yeah.
It was a bit nipply.
A bit nipply.
No, a bit cold. I used to pretend to swim by walking on the bottom and doing this.
What age did you move to Luton then?
I moved to Luton in 76, so I would have been 5 years old. But I remember Clophill. I have memories of that, so it's pretty neat.
Well, I went to a school called Crawley Green School in Luton, where all my brothers and I went. All my brothers then went to a school. My two older brothers, in fact, I think all of them, went to a school called Ramridge School. But Steve was the guinea pig of the family. And Steve was sent to Summerlin School, which was a brand new school when it opened.
Yeah, and I also went there after 76.
So it was a new type of school and a new way of teaching system. Do you remember what the teaching system was called, Rob? You can't, can you? It was called Scots Forsman.
No.
Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember Scots Forsman. Now you say it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that meant, but
no. So it was an American system. Say no more, Americans. But it was an American system of teaching. It was all these books that came over from America. But it was the problem with Summerlin is that in a whole, it was a good education. It was okay. But the trouble is, it wasn't in running with the rest of the education system that was going on in Luton at the time. So when we moved on from Summerlin School to our senior schools, you went to Puttridge, I went to Ashcroft. I don't know about yourself, but I was very much behind with maths, with the maths that they were doing and with the history they were doing and certain subjects. I was actually behind, and it was actually found to be not all my fault. I was a bit stupid.
A polite way of putting it, Steve.
I was a bit stupid, but it was found that it didn't work out as a transition going into senior school from junior school because none of the senior schools followed the same way of teaching or the same program.
I was actually supposed to go to Ashcroft, but my parents had previously already fought for my brother, who's 2 years older, to go to Puttridge. Supposedly, well, I think it was history of her family that went to Ashcroft, or my mum's brothers and siblings that went to Ashcroft. They had a rough time there. There were some issues in-house. So that's why we ended up going to, what's this? Rob C.P. Woodturner just came up on the screen.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, the system is now called indoctrination. Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty final. So anyway, I ended up going to Puttridge, and you went to Ashcroft.
Yeah. I went to Ashcroft School, hated every single day of it, except for when I was doing woodwork and metalwork and history, and hated every day of it. Hated the kids, hated everything, hated the teachers. Horrible, the most horrible 5 years of my life, and I still actually have nightmares about some of the days in that school. It was just horrible. Yeah.
Well, you should have come to Puttridge with me, mate, because I had a different experience altogether. Was in love with my geography teacher. She was lovely. She was. Whew. Anyway.
Why was that, Rob? Was it her personality?
Oh, she had a great great personality. She was lovely. The school was good. Actually, I kind of fancied my German teacher as well. She was a little bit, I don't know.
No wonder you like school. You
Friendly.
were in love with all the teachers. All
All
my
the
teachers
teachers,
look
yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
In fact, one particular teacher, you're not even on the same page, are you? Who was my... I'm trying to remember what she taught me now. English, possibly.
Do we want to know?
Her name was Claire Lewis.
Oh yes, that's yes. Claire Lewis is now my brother's wife. She's now
Miss
Claire
Lewis.
Twydell.
She was my
Yeah.
teacher who
Yeah.
married
She
my
was
mate's
also
brother.
she was also
That
her
doesn't sound good,
husband's
does it?
she was also her husband's teacher.
Ooh.
Yes, so work that one out. Yes. But yes, very happily married for
What
many,
school
many
did they
years.
go
They've
to
got
then?
two beautiful boys. David went to Ashcroft. Claire was originally from Felixstowe, I believe. Her parents lived in Felixstowe anyway, but I'm not sure what school she went to.
Doesn't she have a slight country accent?
I think Felixstowe would be a bit
little
like
bit
that,
of a
would it?
country accent. A little bit.
But she then went from Puttridge to Ashcroft, I believe, and she was teaching
Okay.
in.
I don't remember that, but very nice lady. She was a very nice lady. She still is. I'll put that in there.
Yes.
She is.
But yeah, couple of reasons why I didn't like school was that there was a hell of a lot of bullying in the school I was in. Lots of kind of gang warfare and stuff like that. Lots of big gangs of kids that just liked beating up on kids for. There was one particular fellow I won't name because it will be giving him limelight, but he tried making
I know
me
exactly
smoke.
who you're talking about.
He tried making me smoke.
Yeah, man.
And I hated smoking. I saw what it did to my mum and dad, but I just didn't like smoking. And he used to hold you down to the ground by the throat, big fella. And he used to put the cigarettes in your mouth and then try lighting them and getting you to smoke them. And I used to just pull them back into my mouth, just using my teeth. And I used to chew them, eat them, and swallow them. And he used to get pissed off because number one, I wasn't smoking them, and number two, I was just eating his cigarettes that were costing him a fortune or that he was stealing. So he was like, it was a lose-lose for him. Now I was sick as a dog after I ate them, like I puked up a couple of times because I was still ingesting tobacco, right? So it didn't make sense, but in my head, it made sense. But yes, so that was yeah. And then the teachers were just, it wasn't. No, they were pretty hands-on with the students, the teachers. Mr. Atkinson, the French teacher, got hung out out the third floor window by the same fellow that used to bully me because he snapped his calculator ruler. So that's school. Anybody else talking about
that didn't happen at Puttridge. We didn't get the bullying and the crazy kids like that. It was a much more pleasant environment. I was quite lucky that I did go there actually, because I'd have been right there with you, mate.
Wayne, I've got to read this in kind of Wayne's accent. Wayne's from Sheffield, okay? So I didn't fancy any of my teachers. It were probably their moustaches that put me off.
That would do it.
Let me see. I didn't fancy any of my teachers because they were all nuns. Okay, we'll move on from that one. Zip, Steve, zip. Yes. So, we'll go to this one. I didn't like my RE teacher, my French teacher, my cooking teacher. Only enjoying music. Okay. That's why Stace dances a lot and sings a lot, but she can't count for shit. Only joking, Stace. Well, that was that's the convo wheel of the week. Jeez, look at the time. Look, Rob, look. We're half an hour into it. Half an hour into it. All right, let's
next.
Let's go into jigs and tools. That's what we'll do. Let me do it properly this time. And we're going to go jigs and tools. So, Rob,
All right,
do
Steve.
you want to talk
Yes.
about yours first? I'll do that.
If I have to. Okay.
I'll pop you in there.
Right. So this week's jigs and tools, from my point, is we're going to talk a little bit about segmenting, a very little bit, because I actually haven't done any segmenting, but that's what we're going to talk about from a person that hasn't done any. So the first thing I did was I looked on YouTube, found a video of a guy that made a wedgie sledge, and I made my own from that video. A wedgie sled. So that's the wedgie sled that I made, and that's as much as I'm going to show you as far as that goes. And then this, which is the stop. So it goes here, and you can adjust the stop, which will give you the size of the piece that you're going to cut. So that was the first part of it. The second part was I bought these. There's a set of these wedges. They're Seg Easy wedges. There's a whole set of them here that I've got. They were $100. So I bought them in a pack. There's a whole bunch of them.
Ouch. And
they're the exact angles. So when you put them in here, you clamp these tight against it. And then when you run this past the blade on your bandsaw, you get the perfect wedges. And it's counted 16 wedges, 32 wedges, 18, 36, 20, 40, 24, and 48. So having said that, how do you figure out the size that you want? So I actually made this today. If you drill 2 holes in a wedgie and you don't need the fences on the sled. Okay. This is the chart that I made today, which basically gives you the angles and the sizes for every one that you would use. So each quarter is 2 different sizes. So like this side, this corner here is 18 and 36. So 1 is 36 and 2 is 18. So you would measure. You measure between, I can't get my finger in the right spot. You measure between the 2 lines depending on the size of the ring you're going to make. So this is a real rough ring here that I've just put together. This is 18, no, 16, no, 18. Yeah, this is 18 segments. And this is also 18. This is also 18 segments. It's not glued together, so I'm not going to get into how you use it, but that's essentially what it is. And it shows the angles that I used as well. I used a protractor from the center point to get those angles. If you look on YouTube, you'll find it really easy, a wedgie sled. I don't actually have a link. Steve, can you find a link?
I can, yeah. What I'll do is I'll get the link off of you. We'll find the video, and I'll put the link in the show notes after the show, in the description.
I'm just gonna look real quick, and if I can find it, I'll send it to Steve. But yeah, there's so many that you can look on YouTube. You just got to pick one that works for you. This is it right here.
Ruben just put one up there as well. Simplified Wedgie Sled by Jeremy Schmidt.
So Steve Lindsay, he's the guy that I copied mine from, Steve Lindsay. So if you look him up on YouTube, Wedgie Sled, and then you can make your own wedgie sled. Now, the runner in the back, like this runner here, has to fit the slot of your table saw, and you want it to be tight. You don't want any movement in it. So what I did on this was, you see the little cut there and the hole, that's for a screw, and you do the both at same ends, at both ends. This is tight already, so I didn't actually have to use it. But if it's a little bit loose, you put a screw in there, tighten it up a little bit, and it will just make it so that it doesn't wiggle around. You don't want any movement in that at all. So that's it, basically. That's your wedgie sled. You've got your chart that shows you the size of the rings that you want for different combinations of how many segments are in the ring, and then the size from 1 inch all the way up to as big as you want, really. This only goes up to 12 inches, but my lathe is up to 18 inches, but I don't think I'm going to get that seriously into it. But so that's that. And then the stop that you need. And that kind of gives you an overall idea. And I'm just starting to learn about segmenting. So I really can't say too much about it. And maybe a lot of you guys out there, maybe some of you guys are doing segmenting already. Steve?
Is there, I was just looking at this comment from Nick. I do more segmenting stuff, but it's hard to do them on a bandsaw. Is there jigs that work on the bandsaw as well? Do you know? I've not done any segmenting at all. So
the problem with a bandsaw, I find, is the kerf on the blade tends to make the blade want to move a little bit, whereas a table saw blade is less likely to move. It's pretty thick, right? It's pretty solid. I'm sure that you could do something similar, because my bandsaw has got runners in it, so you could essentially do the same thing, right?
Yeah,
like
there's actually
a bandsaw.
There's a guy in the UK as well that sells segmented kits too. I think it's wood if I could, or I forget the name of his company, but he literally makes kits up. He puts the big pipe clamps and all that in there, puts it all together, and he can either make them so they're already glued up rings, or he can just send the segments to you that you can glue them up. So there's a way of doing segmenting if you I suppose you could spend the money that you'd spend making the jigs and stuff. You could buy a segmented bowl and try it, and before you go ahead and do it. But yeah, no, that's cool.
It's the thing is too, you really want them to be as flat as possible, because even the glue, little bits of glue that are in the way, can make a gap. So realistically, you want to invest the money also. If you want to get serious into it, you want to invest the money in a thickness sander. So
yeah,
a thickness sander in Canada, I know, is somewhere between the range of $1,100 and $2,500. So it's an investment. Yeah, it's an investment. I've seen guys make their own thickness sanders too. Who is it? Stephen Ogle. He made one for the lathe. It was a spindle with sandpaper on it and a board that went up and down. He actually made his own using his lathe, so that's an option too.
Yeah, Stephen Ogle's actually, I'll actually put him in the show notes as well. He's made some really cool jigs and things for wood turning, and for a lot of other bits and pieces that you do woodworking. He's kind of an all-rounder. I think he's a retired fireman, isn't he?
I don't know if he's retired, but yeah, I know he was a firefighter.
And he talks like that.
Yeah, he's a tobacco chewer.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I've got some Hey, jigs and tools. Let's not do that again. Let me change so we're like this. I've got a couple of bits and pieces here with the jigs and tools to add to it. Now, Rob CP is in the chat there, and I had him in mind when I decided on covering that, and it's the Simon Hope. It's the tool that I'm talking about, the Simon Hope Mini Hollower. That's this one here. It's a nice little kit. It comes in 3 pieces. You have the handle, you have the gooseneck or swan neck, or whatever people want to call it, and then you have the straight bar, and it's a 6mm hollower. Now, Rob has got one of these. I think he has this one, which is the longer version. I have both. I have the small version, the previous one that I showed, and then I have this one. This is a longer bar, but the good thing about this longer bar is that you can take that rubber handle off of it, and it will slip into, It fits into the crown holder and it fits into the sorbie holder. It also fits into the Hope extension hollower and the laser and all that. So it's kind of universal. It fits into a lot. And then the blades are just a they're just a 6mm cupped cutter like that. Now I've got all these pictures from Oliver's wood turning. Oliver wood turning is also down in the show notes. It was just easier to grab the pictures. Thanks Oliver for that. I know Oliver well, and I'm sure he won't mind me using his pictures. He stocks them in the UK. We are not associated with him at all. We don't take anything from Ed, from Oliver's word turning, just to make sure YouTube understands
anybody
that.
for that matter. I was actually looking at that tool, but they don't ship to Canada.
Do they not? Well, I can ship it to Canada for you if you want one. So friends can ship them. Right. So what Rob was struggling with this tool was getting he said it was too aggressive. It was an aggressive cutting tool. Now, the thing is with these cutters is if you go straight in, that's like the cutting edge on those is literally like putting a bevel straight in, as if you were putting a skew on its back with a gouge straight in with the flute facing straight up. If you were to go straight in to hollow with that, it is literally the same as that. You've got all the cutting edge there, and it's a really aggressive cut. So what you're supposed to do for hollowing and for doing finishing cuts, you can do finishing cuts with these, is you're supposed to turn the tool at 45 degrees or in and around there, and it takes the harshness of the cut away. That's what Hope suggests that you do with their tools and how you use them. And you'll get a much easier, finer cut. Even when you go in, you'll notice with the, let me see, can I get the picture up again? With this one, you can't see it there, but that swan neck is actually designed in a way that the blade is, when you've got the swan neck flat on the tool rest, it's designed that cutting blade is 45 degrees. It's actually offset on the bar. Yeah. So as you go in, it cuts at that angle. Now, for Rob, I put this little video together, courtesy of Mike Walt. Thank you very much, Mike Walt. He demonstrates how to use the cutter. It's just, there's no sound to it. I just took a clip from one of his videos. But Rob, if you look at this, you'll see that Mike he's got that angled at 45 degrees. He's got the handle very low, and he's just doing a nice, easy shear cut with the blade, which you still can. Even though it's a carbide, you can still use them like a traditional tool. So he's got it angled at 45 degrees, and he's not going straight in with that tool. If you go straight in with that tool, it would rip that thing apart. It's aggressive, right?
So again, that's more like a shear scrape. Yeah. There's no bevel, so you can't ride a bevel.
Right. Yeah. There is a bevel on the tool, but because the blade is 6mm and it comes down and it meets the bottom of the tool,
it's not a bevel you can ride those.
No, it's not a bevel you can ride, exactly. But it is a really nice tool. It can be as aggressive as you want, or it can be as gentle as you want. Pretty much like any tool. But I would suggest, Rob, to just put a piece of crappy wood on the lathe and just play with the orientation of the blade and bring the handle up and down and just get to feel what it's like to use. But that's the tool. I love that tool. It's my go-to tool for any hollowing. You've got the easy hollow.
If you notice too, Mike's got the tool rest low, so he's still cutting on center. So just because he's got the handle down low doesn't mean he's cutting above center. He's adjusted it accordingly.
So there you go. Hopefully it's helped you out there, Rob. It doesn't have to be level. No, you can use any tool at any angle to get a fine cut. You know, bring the handle up and down. If he went straight in there and had the tool straight up, it would literally dig in and it would pull the front of that hollow form off. It would rip it. It would pull it off the lathe. It'd be that aggressive. You can have the handle level, Rob, but if you do, then turn the cutter 45 degrees. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Leona. Right, so that's that. Let me go back to the main camera. I also had another jig, but I won't show that because we can save that for. And I had it just in case my compadre didn't quite make it to the show.
Next Tuesday, then.
Yes, so I will. I'll save it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So that's Wednesday. The tools and jigs for this week. I hope that helped people that have the hollower. Rob, sorry, I did say have you got the easy hollower, haven't you? Would that be a similar
hollower? The Easywood hollower, again, there's several tools in that collection. There's the parting tool, which I really like. It's obviously the front is flat, and then the cutting head, which is removable, has a slight bevel to it sideways. So as you're cutting, it's cutting wider than the blade that's going in, so it doesn't create any friction on the actual sides of the blade. That's one of the problems I had when I first used a Robert Sorby parting tool. When you're going straight in, if you don't double up that notch as you're going in, you get a lot of friction, heat and smoke, and it's not good. The Easywood, it's a carbide tip, sorry, but also, like I said, it's beveled, so as you go in, it opens it up. So that's the Easywood parting tool. There's the hollowers 1, 2, and 3. 1 is straight, 2 has got a slight hook, 3 has got a bigger hook. That's for getting around those lips of hollow forms. But the blade is straight. It's straight. It doesn't angle like the one you were talking about. The what is it again? Sorry, can you repeat it? Pro Edge?
No, it was the Hope hollower, Simon Hope hollower.
So the Simon Hope, has that angled cutter on the bar, I think, right? Whereas
on the swan neck one, it does, gooseneck, It,
okay. Yeah. The Easywoods are just flat, but you can adjust the angle of your approach, and you really do want to be on center. If you're below center, it's really aggressive, like crazy aggressive. If you're above center, it doesn't really cut very well. So you have to play with your height and make sure you get it bang on center. But I like those tools, but again, I can't compare because I don't have the Hope. I don't have a Hope. I hope you now. Maybe Ed could send me one, and I'll do a little demonstration, a little comparison.
Maybe have a word with Ed.
Ed's never going to watch this. Boy, Ed, send us some Hope.
Nick, that will be coming up 1 week soon. I will be mentioning that, so don't panic about that, me old son. Now I've lost where that is. How do you take it off when you've? Oh yeah, there it is. Boom. There you go. I will be mentioning. Nick makes a sanding tool, so I will be. I'll mention that 1 week when he sends me the 600 quid. No, that's a joke. Right. Let me see. Wayne said, I have a mini hollower. It's great. I am after the standard size hollower to do up to 6 inches. Bigger than 6 inches is not hollowing, it's tunneling. Yeah, true that, Wayne.
Yeah, the Easywood actually has the medium size set, which is what I have. They also have the large size set, which is what I thought I was buying, but it wasn't. I haven't seen them for sale. Lee Valley sell the medium, but they don't sell the big set. But as yet, I haven't really got into any big hollow forms. 8 inches is as deep as I've gone.
Yeah. The biggest piece I've ever hollowed was a couple of urns that I've turned. The first urn I did in 2 halves and then glued it, and then that went off to the States. And then the second one was my own father's. I did it a whole thing, and I hated the shape.
I turned my mum's urn, and I'm not sure how deep that was. It was quite big. That was a lot of work. Very aggressive, and it's hard when you haven't got a proper hollowing system. When you're free hand hollowing it, there's a lot of pressure on that tool. So you've got to be super careful because it can rip it out of your hand.
I don't remember one bit of turning my dad's urn. I don't remember it at all.
Quite a while ago now, eh? No.
Yeah. So Leona says the 8mm one is the next one she wants. I don't know what your. Oh, I don't know what I just did there. I don't know what to. Is that the Hope hollower? I think there's an 8mm Hope. Adam, the Pro hollower with round bar is 6mm. Yeah, I thought Hopes were all 6mm. Oh no, the Hope does do an 8mm. Crown do a similar one to Hope's. I've got a couple of the Crown, and they're the thing is with the Crown hollowers though, the bar tapers towards the cutter, and you get a lot of vibration. So if you're off the tool rest quite a bit, going deep into a hollow form, because that bar gets thin at the end, it does it, even though it's doing it very slightly, it gets exaggerated as it comes through the bar. So, and it starts vibrating, and then you get that squeal, that squeak, that really annoying hollowing sound.
Easy Woods #1 does taper as well.
Yeah.
But the smaller cutter I find is better than the bigger cutters. It just cuts better than the bigger the cutter you get, the more difficult it is to control, in my experience anyway.
A lot more aggressive, I think, anyway. Okay, so let's go to this bit. Rob, what have you got for us this week for Wood of the Week? Over to you, Rob. He's pretending to be frozen now. You won't get me. I heard the dog. I heard the dog move. So.
Well, guess what? I was going with Walnut, and
Well, you're not this week now.
I didn't go to Wikipedia, and I didn't send Steve any photos, and I thought it was Tuesday and everything. We can still talk about Walnut a little bit, so we're going to do that. Let me just get. I do have a little bit of a note here.
You can talk
Walnut
about
is beautiful wood.
I do have some slides on you, not on you.
On me?
No, not on you.
Not again.
On YEW. Sorry.
Well, if you want to talk about you're good at talking about you, Steve.
No, I'm not good at talking about you at all. I know nothing about wood. It was a quick, actually, I have to thank Leona because she found the information about you for me, because you for me are everything, the sweetest song that I can sing. Ooh, oh, baby.
You for me are everything.
To me, I guess I'm just a clown that picks you up each time you do. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there, didn't I? I got all boogie with it. Yes, so I have some information about you, but if you do want to talk about Walnut, then go ahead, talk a bit about Walnut, and then we'll do a couple of the slides about, that's wrong, about the U then.
We'll talk briefly, very, very briefly, because last week we brought up maple, but we talked about burl and bird's eye and crotch feature, and we touched on spalting and some of those other things too. A lot of those things can happen to lots of different woods, so we don't have to expand into that. Walnut is a family of woods, and we're talking about black walnut, English walnut, Peruvian walnut. I can't pronounce it. Bastogna walnut, whatever that is. Bastogna. Clary walnut and butternut. Butternut, I didn't realize, is in the walnut family. Butternut is a beautiful wood to turn. I have a blank of it somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's very nice. It's a lot lighter than the dark walnut that we're used to. Black walnut having that beautiful white sapwood in comparison to the dark heartwood. I think this is English walnut. I think that is English walnut. Ooh. No heartwood in that at all. And the one I turned recently, live edge. It's upstairs somewhere. It's a live edge with the white sapwood. So it's a real nice contrast in wood. Clary walnut is really highly figured. Can I get a bit? I've got a piece over here, actually.
Is that Clary or Clarice?
I'm going to run and get a bit.
And a small Chianti. He's gone. He's gone out. You can see he's prepared. He's really prepared for this segment. Because it's Tuesday, apparently.
I'm back. This is a live show, remember, folks. This is live. It was not pre-recorded. So if you can see that.
Hold on, I'll put you on big. Yeah, I'll put you on big screen. 1 second. Don't panic. Don't panic, Mr. Manrin.
I'm not panicking. Okay. So this is the kind of figure that you're going to get in a piece of Clary walnut. It's really just a highly figured piece of wood. It's just beautiful. And I've got a bunch of that. A friend of mine gave me a box, 3 boxes full of different woods, and I was quite amazed at what was in there, including some of this stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it all yet, but I swear I've got more wood than I've got years left in me.
Oh, but, great. I've got Sarah Titchy Turner says, I've got a walnut tree growing on my land, but want it to grow a bit more before I think about cutting it down.
Yeah.
Sarah's in underground, overground,
wombling free.
She's in Bulgaria.
Uncle Bulgaria.
Yeah, she's in Uncle
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
When I bought this house, it was how long ago now? 20 plus years ago. I planted 2 walnut trees down at the back of my property, and they are now probably, the base of the trunks are now probably about 20 inches across, 16 to 20 inches across diameter.
Is that real inches or man inches?
That's inches. That's imperialism. Imperialism. I do have both on my tape measure, but anyway, so that's a nice size tree and it's straight, but I don't plan on cutting them down. They can be worth a lot of money. Here's a quick story about walnut, actually. So quite a few years ago, I was working at work, and this guy came up to me and we were chatting. Yeah, I was at work. I was actually working. They caught me. This guy, we were just chatting about, I don't know what, but he brought up this story about he owns 50 acres of property and he's got bush out back. And some guy came up to his door, knocked on his door, and he opened the door and he goes, hey, are you interested in selling some of your trees? I see you've got some wooded area back there. And he's like, no, it's okay. No, go away. So he closed the door. The guy's walking down the driveway. He's got a long driveway. Next thing you know, this guy's phone rings and he picks it up and he says, the neighbor says, hey, did you just have a guy knock on your door asking to buy trees? He goes, yeah. He says, get him back. I just sold him trees, $10,000 each. He hung up the phone. He's running down the driveway. Hey, let's talk about these trees again. What are you saying? He goes, well, let's go take a look in the bush and see what you got growing. Anyway, so he took 15 trees, walnut, $10,000 each, 150 grand.
Crap.
Thank you very much. And they were big trees. We're talking like 3-4 foot diameter trees, big trees, massive trees. But he cut them down, took all the wood away, mulched all the junk and de-stumped them, all 15 of them. and he gave the guy $150,000. Now, apparently, what they do, a lot of that wood gets cut and veneered, and then it gets shipped off to China.
And makes
and then we
savage
buy
profit.
crappy. We buy crappy plywood out, veneered plywood or veneered plywood furniture. That's expensive, but they didn't spend. You think how much veneer you can get out of one massive tree, right? So
I remember Chris Cute when I was talking to him. He went to visit. Who was it he visited? Name goes out my head at the moment. Canadian.
It's because you're old, Steve.
Planes works on the planes.
You think,
what's his name?
You'll think it's Tuesday in a minute.
He helped me with flights over to you. Oh, what's his name? It's just gone out my head. Yeah, but anyway, they went to
Chris.
Oh no, he went
Charles.
He went over and no, he went with him anyway to a wood lumber yard, I suppose they call it in the States or in Canada. And Mark, that's it, Mark Christopher. God, my brain just.
Mark
Sorry, Mark. Yeah, sorry, Mark. It's been a day. But yeah, they went to a plywood supplier, right? And I thought, oh, that's not going to be very interesting. Freaking plywood is horrible, right? Well, if you saw these plywoods that this company had, it was all top of the range, veneered, exotic wood plywood. And Chris had a video. I think he's got a video on his channel. If I find it, I'll put it in the link below. But it was all this veneered plywood, and it was walnut ply with a beautiful finish on it, and everything. Like, it was amazing wood, and stupid expensive, I'd say. Didn't know existed.
Yeah, and that's just thin veneers of it. So you imagine how many thousands of dollars they can get out of one tree if they're just making it into veneer plywood. Insane. It's a shame, though, really.
Do you see this up on the screen here? That's
what I again, Steve.
Yeah, that's what I hear in my ear when I'm earworming. And she says that she's nice. Now, go for it, Tommy. One limb at a time. They'll never know. It's going stealing wood. But yes, so that's walnut. We won't do the yew this week. I'll keep that for another week, because otherwise we'll be talking about wood too much. We've only got 20 minutes left, and we have to do this, or a certain fella will not be happy.
Oh, Robbie. Hey, Robbie.
What you got, Robbie? So we're going to do this again, where I'm going to play Robbie on the phone. Now, the way this works, folks, if you weren't here last week, I've asked Robbie to describe something. There is 9 little snippets of him describing this particular thing. And hold on, I'm just going to see what Rob's CPs are. Does anyone know how to hashtag my video for the challenge name for the DD's Fire Challenge, please?
I don't know that challenge.
To hashtag on a YouTube video, you literally just anywhere in the descriptions, just put hashtag and whatever the hashtag is in the description, and it will show up just under the video, Rob. Underneath the video, it will be in blue, and it will say hashtag whatever it is that you want. I think Adam has put there hashtag. Oh no, wrong one. Adam, move. Stop moving, Adam. Adam, it's hashtag YTCCC. If you put that in the main body anywhere in the description of the video, Rob, it will show up in blue just underneath the video. And if people click on that, it brings you to like a playlist. Okay, so back to Robbie. This is number 1. So basically, you've got to listen to what Robbie says, and then try and guess. And the first person to name what they think it is in the comments wins absolutely nothing except the praise of both myself and Rob for being so fast at understanding
I don't know
what the
what it
hell
is.
Rob is doing. Okay, so here we go. This is number one. Are we ready? Let me turn the volume right up. I have to do it this way because I still haven't worked out how to do the whole thing through. But here we go.
It's electric.
Lots of information there.
It's electric.
So it's electric. Go. What do you think it is? Any ideas, Rob?
Me? Okay, first thing comes to mind is a car.
Okay, electric cars. Yeah, because everyone's got one of them. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Number two. So it's electric. No, it's not a drill. Okay, here we go.
It got a long lead with a plug.
It's electric.
Avenue.
Electric avenue.
Electric Avenue.
It's electric. It's electric, and it's got a long lead with a plug. Electricity is electric. Yeah. Well done, Robert Dove. So we've
Your
got
relationship with each other.
We've got electricity. We've got a lawnmower. No, it's not a lawnmower. Oh, smiley face. Ow! Don't do that. Okay, so number three.
It comes with different bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs. Bits and bobs.
It comes with different bits and bobs. So it's electric. It has a long lead and a plug, and it comes with different bits and bobs. Ladies and gentlefolk, it's not a drill, Gav. No, not a drill. Not an extension cable. It's not a lathe. No.
Is he saying a Dremel, Adam?
Yeah, I think he meant a Dremel. Yeah, I'm presuming. No, not a Dremel. Okay, so listen.
A router.
Change the ends.
So I'll do that again.
You can change the ends.
You can change the ends. No, not a Dremel, not a rotary. Oh, we've got we've got yeah, okay. Right, okay, let's go with this one.
It has a metal holder.
It has a metal holder.
Rubber dub. Is he on the right path?
It gets really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Steve's hairdryer.
You burn wood with it.
And you ready? What is it, Robbie?
It's a wood burning pen.
Right, so there's a story there. I tried for about 64 attempts. Well done, Rubber Dub, by the way. I tried for 64 attempts to try and get Robbie to say pyrography pen. And I should have kept some of the recordings, I suppose.
You should have if you didn't record it.
Yeah. Robbie couldn't say pyrography pen. So I said, do you know what? We're getting a bit short of time. Let's call it a wood burning pen. So that's what it is. Well done, Robbie. Everyone, round of applause for Robbie. I think he did very well. And here it is. This is the it's not going to show. This is the pyrography pen that Robbie was trying to describe there. So well done, Robbie. Great job. And Robbie is
can't say it either.
Robbie's a legend as well. Leona you can't say Leona.
I can't. No, it's a Canadian version of Leona.
Leona, eh? So well done, Robbie. That was what you got, Robbie. We'll have another one of those next week. So that's if you're enjoying it. If there's any of these segments that you don't want, then tell me and I'll get rid of them. But I think it's pretty much working out okay. We've got 15 minutes left. Okay. We've done news. I've got some. I'll tell you what else I've got, Rob. Shall I tell you what else I've got? I'll tell you what else I've
What have
got.
you got?
I've got
What was
some.
it? Wasn't it like
I got some fascinating facts. I do. Got some fascinating facts.
Come on then, Steve. Do
Are you
share.
ready for this?
Oh.
Okay. None of these are to do with wood turning whatsoever. Ever. My tongue got all big there and I couldn't speak proper like what I normally do. Would you be able to tolerate the quietest place on earth for more than 45 minutes?
Yes.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
Well, you don't know the facts yet, but there is. Silence may be golden, this particular article said. Silence may be golden, but too much of it will drive you mad, apparently. In Minnesota's Orfield Laboratories, there's an I've got to get this right. Okay, an echoic chamber it's called, that is so quiet the background noise is measured in negative decibels, negative 9.4 dBA, whatever the frick that means, to be exact. So the room's founder, Stephen Orfield, says that not only can you hear your heart beating and sometimes hear your lungs, but those who have entered the space have trouble standing up due to the fact that humans use sounds to orient themselves. So that means anyone who spends a little time in the room needs to be seated, but they won't be there for long. According to Orfield, the longest anybody has been able to tolerate the extreme silence is 45 minutes. Imagine that.
Sounds like sheer heaven to me.
I
Now,
don't know.
on that same note, they also have that sensory silence thing where you are floating in a bath of liquid that is body temperature.
Right.
Have you heard that? So they
Yeah.
cut out the light, the sound, and the sense of touch, because you're floating in what essentially is the same body temperature as what you are. So you can't feel, hear, see, touch, or anything. It would be a completely numbing
Head wreck.
your senses. Yeah.
Complete head.
Be
And
interesting though.
it's like the zero gravity thing too that people do, where they just and just leave, like, because all the astronauts have to go through all that negative gravity training, right? And they reckon that only like 2 out of 100 people get through it. And the same with the whole G-force thing as well, with jet fighters and stuff like that. They reckon that most of the jet fighters, the pilots for those, don't graduate because they can't handle actually being in the plane. It just messes with their head so much that they just pass out every time they get into G-force.
Yeah, G-force does look nuts.
Yeah. Robert Dub says that's true. Some blind people have used clicking sounds to find their way around. They listen out for echo like a sonar. Yeah, there was actually a really cool documentary about a guy that actually, as he's honed in the sonar, and he turns his head and bounces the sound back off of objects, and he doesn't use a cane. He can just walk around and get all this stuff coming back at you. So that is your first fascinating fact of the show. I don't know how many people knew that. The next one is a very dear subject to my heart, and indeed to the hearts of many that are in the chat there. Did you know that bananas glow blue under a UV light? Did you know that, Rob?
No.
I want to get a UV light now and I want to try it. I want to make bananas go blue. So the science behind that is, who'd have thunk? Bananas may be famously yellow, but according to a study published in the Journal of the German Chemical Society, the usually sunny toned fruit actually glows an intense blue color when put under black light or UV lights. Scientists at the University of Innsbruck in Austria and Columbia University in the US found that the degradation of chlorophyll that happens in fruit while it ripens is the cause of the funky blue glow.
Whatever you do, Steve, if you film yourself showing a banana under blue light, do not film that in your bedroom.
Yeah,
or
Nick
anywhere
has
near
the
the
same.
lathe, for that matter.
Nick has the same idea. Banana blue. That's just stays gripping too hard. Under a bus, Rob. Yes. Who else wants to try that? Who has it? Does anybody have a black light? I want you to put a banana under. If you've got a black light, put a banana under your black light. I want to see that. That sounds cool. Okay.
Steve wants to see your bananas.
I want to see your blue bananas. Here's a lovely subject: belly button blues. When you think about the fact that they're responsible providing us nourishment in the womb, belly buttons are pretty incredible. But not everyone is amazed by the tiny dots in the middle of our bodies. In fact, some people are downright freaked out by them. And if that's you, if you don't like belly buttons, you now know that the official term for it is omphallophobia. Omphallophobia. That's it. I remember when I Googled it. Omphallophobia. So if you have a fear of belly buttons, you have omphallophobia.
That's a nice belly button.
Yes. So that is the fascinating facts. My belly button, and indeed my brother's belly buttons, and indeed my father and his father's belly buttons were not called belly buttons. They were called your duns. My granny called them. She's not with us anymore, unfortunately, but she explained this story. My granny was a religious woman, and she said that when we were on the production line of being made, you know, because babies come on a production line, and and that's God's fingerprint in your belly, because as you come to the end of the production line, he puts you through all the checks, and he goes, "You're done," and he puts the fingerprint of God into your belly. You're done, and then you're put into the little parcel and shipped off with the stork to wherever you've decided to be put. So you're done. So there's a few comments about things freaking people out. You can get blue bananas.
Outies freak me out, Rubber-Dub says.
Outies freak me out.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen an outie. I know what the idea is.
Do you know what causes an outie? A bad midwife. That's what causes an outie. Or Steve in his children's case, because I cut 2 of my children's umbilical cords, and if you don't cut it quite right, if you leave it too long, I think it is, or whatever, like when it shrivels up and falls off, it leaves. It's actually a hernia, I believe. It's a mini hernia.
It is.
Yeah. Podophobia. Podophobia is a fear of feet. Just saying. Yeah. Nick, the flaming turner, he turns barefooted in his workshop, and whenever he does a live, Leona actually gets sick. So that is this week's interesting facts, folks. I hope you found them interesting. I did. I thought they were kind of cool. I've only got 5 minutes left of random talking now, Rob.
Well, one more interesting fact is apparently today is Wednesday.
I heard that. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. It came around really quickly.
It did. It only seems like a week or something since
7
we were
days
sitting
ago.
here last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adam is very, very fascinated. Oh, no way, Rob. Yeah, he is fascinated. Adam's fascinated with my fascinating facts.
I'm not sure.
That's how it works, people. I shall look for
could
some
be
more.
sarcasm. Slight chance.
So yes, what did I have any other things that I wanted to mention? Do you have anything else you want to mention while I think about what I wanted to mention? Because I did want to mention something, but I can't remember what I wanted to
I
mention.
know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to
I don't
think
know
if
what you're talking about.
I was going to mention something.
What do you want to talk about? We got like 3 minutes.
It's a fact that Adam is fascinated. There you go. So that's a fascinating fact.
Adam's fascinating, and it's a fact. Fascinated or fascinating?
It's just the whole thing is fascinating. It's Thursday here now, said Sarah. So now that's really mind blowing because in Rob's head it's Tuesday.
That's very true.
It's really Wednesday, and it's Thursday where Sarah is. So we've got 3 days.
It's crazy. Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, yes. I know what I was going to say.
Traveling.
I know what I was going to say. The calendar, the events calendar of all the lives and things that are going on at the moment. I'm keeping it up to date. If you just, the link is down in the description below. There is a Google Calendar of all the live shows and things I know of. If there's any more that need to be added and you want to add your show on, let me know. Any premieres that you have coming on, give me plenty of notice so that I can put it onto the calendar and then it can notify people. It's a live Google Calendar. So you can click on it and then you can connect it to your own calendar and it will give you notifications of when things are going to happen. So that's that. That's what I wanted to mention.
I'm going to send you a link, Steve. Can you share it if I send you a link?
On this? Ooh, probably not, no. What is it of? I don't know how to do that.
So it was Ruby's video that she just did that I just helped her with.
Well, just put it up at the screen then, maybe. You could do that and I'll make you big.
Oh. Put it up at the screen.
Yeah. Is it on the phone? You can screen share. You can screen share.
It's not actually, it's unlisted, so I don't know if you can actually, I think I have to share the link with the people.
Oh, right, because you can put that in, share the link in the chat box. Type it in the chat there and...
Oh, okay.
So click it on your computer, share it, and then lob it in the chat box.
I got you. You'll have to give me a minute here because I'm opening up YouTube as we speak. Now, Ruby Claire, she's a professional turner. She's the lady we talked about getting tips from Ruby at some point. She just did a video. I helped her out. Oh, I can't see it now. Hang on a minute. Jeez. Because it's unlisted. That's the problem.
Do you know what? If it was Wednesday, you'd find it a lot easier.
I would. I'm going to find it. It's right here. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Maybe it's not. Hang on. Anyway, she did an off-center turning. I've got it now. There it is.
The show needs a honey badger segment.
Can you hear that, or is it just in my head?
It's just in your. It's just in your head.
It might be. Hang on a minute.
You got a screen share, and then
I type. I don't even have a place to type.
Yeah, you do. There's a little box in comments.
Chat. Jeez.
Right, send it to me on Facebook, and I'll put it in the chat.
I did already. All
right, I'll grab it. So hold on.
I just sent it to the private chat.
Right, hold on. I'm going to grab it off Facebook because the private chat doesn't turn it in. It struggles. the links don't work sometimes for some reason. I had that issue before on a stream. Let me grab it here now.
In the
1 second.
In the comments, I don't have a place where I can type. So
Do you
you've
not?
obviously not allowed me to do that. No.
Yeah, because that's all my fault. Yeah.
Well, this is your thing. I can't type. I can't chat. Anyway, Ruby Claire, she's a professional wood turner.
Jesus.
She just turned a bat with a ball going through it halfway. It's off-center turning. A complete project finished. The ball is painted white with the stitching and everything, and it looks really cool. She did a great job. And the video is up on YouTube, but it's not. It's unlisted, so you can only see it if I share it, or if Steve shares it with you now.
I'm doing it now. Don't panic, Mr. Mandarin. Boom. There you go.
There it is. So go check out Ruby. She's a really good turner. She does some cool stuff. Look at the pictures at the end of the video as well. It shows you some of her items that she's made. So if that interests you, which I think it might. So there it is, Steve.
That is that. That link is there. Go check that out. That's Ruby, and that Ruby will be interviewing Ruby very soon, hopefully, and we'll be getting there'll be another segment, Ruby's tips on wood turning. I hope you've enjoyed the show, everybody. It's I don't know. We're trying to keep it kind of flowy. Sometimes we're going to have little hiccups. I'm still kind of learning the software, and I think it's okay. It's going okay for now. I would appreciate if you can like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please share it around and tell people whether you enjoyed the show or not. And also, if you throw a comment about the show down in the comments, we'll feature it next week, and I'll do a little segment about the comments that we're getting. If you've got any questions, please ask, and we'll answer the questions if we can on the show, or we'll find the answers for you. So if you do have any questions and you want us to answer them, or ask anyone in the chat that might know the answers, then do let us know, and we can do that. But until next week, Rob, thanks for remembering that it was actually Wednesday eventually.
I didn't remember. It was a scramble getting down here and getting set up. It was a bit of panic. I'm
just really glad that it's locked down and that you weren't in the middle of town somewhere doing something, or cutting a tree down or something. But yeah.
Well, I could have been cutting a tree down or cutting wood, but what was I doing?
I don't want to know.
I think I started turning that. I started turning that big hunk of oak.
But I see Billy just say later, or Billy's been really sick. Billy had coronavirus, and he's been really sick. He's had the whole breathing apparatus and everything at home. Billy, I hope you're feeling better, and I hope your wife's better. And it's good to see you in the chats again. All right, that's it, guys. We'll see you again next week. But for now, I need to make sure that I'm on the I did this wrong last week. So yes, until next week, folks, thank you very much. We should see you next week. So it's goodbye from him. And it's goodbye from him as well. Him. Yeah, and it's goodbye from us. Yes. Rob, don't talk when this end screen comes on, because people will still hear you. Okay? I'll tell you when you can talk. Okay. Oh, okay. You tell me when I can talk. I'll just sit here. Bye. See ya. Oh, I messed that up, didn't I? Yeah, you did. Now. You did mess that up.